Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. It is finally time. I'm so excited for this one, you guys. I have no idea. And I kept telling myself I'm gonna read this in the summer, and it just kept not happening. Nothing like was planned accordingly. Anyways, I'm trying to not let today be an emotional day. This past week has been super emotional. There's been so much shit going on. I blame Mercury in retrograde, but between just like chaotic things and feelings being everywhere, and then on top of that, like, we had a death in the family. Then next thing we know, my sister's in the hospital, and it's just been like one thing after another. My nerves have just been shot this week, and literally yesterday every little bitty thing would set me off and make me cry, so I was like, this week I'm not doing it. So I am taking you guys along with me this week to get my butt back in gear. Today is the first day of school, so that's why I'm a little emotional. I just dropped my baby off. Roman's in 5th this year and Axel's in 2nd, so it's just, it's mind-blowing every year, and I'm hoping, it hasn't like really fully set in yet. I told myself that I'm not gonna go straight home, because that's usually when I get pretty emotional. I walk in the house and it's so quiet after such a loud summer that I get really emotional. So instead, I've been trying to get my steps in, and I've been doing pretty good, but today is my first day back out at my home, my second home. The cemetery, if you guys can see that. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to use this vlog as an accountability vlog. Like, you guys are gonna keep me accountable for my water intake, getting my steps in. I'm also like doing workouts now. I've been incorporating those, just like easy 30-minute workouts each day, and I've been just feeling so much better. So I'm like, I need this week. The end of last week is where I had to like stop doing all of it, so I'm kind of like getting back into it after an extended weekend because of all the things that were going on. Yeah, I'm going to use this vlog for accountability for all of those things to get my life back on track. I've been holding it together so far. I'm really hoping I don't get out there and start walking and then just start crying, because there is other cars here, so I'm sure there's some dog walkers and other people getting their steps in. This morning, it is also 72 degrees right now, so for about to be 9 o'clock, that's not too bad, but I do think it's gonna warm up really quick. And I am going to be starting You Like It Darker by Stephen King, and I'm kind of thinking for this vlog, I'm just going to read, it depends on how many there are. Whenever I get back home, I will try to sort it out. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12, and then there's the afterword. So I will probably read, what, like 2 a day? Is that the right math? Maybe one of those days I'll have to read an extra. That's not bad. The first one is about 60 pages, but the second one is only 10 pages. So I think we're gonna have like a little, it's just gonna kind of depend on, I guess, story to story, how long they are. You know, I thought that there was a story in here called You Like It Darker, but I guess not. I thought usually he names them If It Bleeds. Is that what it's called? If It Bleeds? Yeah. And then there's like a story, If It Bleeds, in this actual short story collection, but I'm not seeing that. I have heard that if you've read some of his work in like other publications, his short stories, that there is some repeats in this. He's just like taken works from different things and put them together, if they all meshed well to him, I guess, or if he liked the aesthetic of them all together, if that makes sense. But I do know that there is some new ones. I just don't know which off the top of my head without like researching it a little bit more, so I might do that this week for you guys as well. But I do know Rattlesnakes is new because it's the sequel to Cujo, and I just had Cujo on my summer TBR because I knew I would be getting to this. So I've just read Cujo. I'm ready for that one when it comes. I'm gonna get my butt out there and start getting my steps. I have to stripped down because I was like, I'm not going home to where it's quiet. I literally brought all my stuff with me because I was like, I'm going straight there to walk, but it's the first day, so I walked Axel in, and I haven't shaved my legs in a few days, and I still have bites from when we went mushroom hunting from ticks. So I'm like, my legs look horrendous right now. So I was like, I have to wear jeans walking my child into school. But now that I'm here, I'm gonna have to take them off. But I do have my shorts underneath them, and then I'll just take my over thing off. But it sucks that there's other people here, because if somebody walks up in the mid of getting my jeans off, that's gonna be quite awkward. Okay, so I am back home. I got in over a mile, and my steps are at like around 5,000, so that's not bad for me. Being this early in the morning, that's pretty good. So I'm excited about that. I'm gonna take that, and I just pulled up to the house. I haven't went in yet, but I only finished the first story, which was that much. It was called Two Talented Bastids. And ooh, ratings on this, I have not been very good at rating books right after I finish them. I don't think I'm going to be good at it even with short stories like this. So you guys will just see what I rate it on the screen whenever I'm editing. But I will say the story kind of like drones on for a while. You really have to learn about this, not really this guy, although we have his point of view, but we're learning about his father and how his father and his father's best friend were like super talented authors, and they really made it. And now that they're older in life and they're getting like all of these like people wanting interviews and stuff like that, and the dad's kind of gotten to a point where he's like, this is my last interview, this is all I'm gonna give. And every time people ask like, where did the success come from, or like the start of the success, or like, you know, those questions that everybody wants to know about where the talent comes from and the overall success, whether it's an author, an artist, or whatever. And he's very vague about his answers always, and even tells his son, like, that's not something he wants to talk about. And then we just learn a lot about the dad's life and his success. But it then kind of turns into more of a horror, but not really. It's more sci-fi than horror, I think, although there was some like creepy moments, or creepy descriptions, I guess I could say. But once the father is kind of like at the end of his life, he tells his son where to find the notebook that has the story of where the success came from. And that's where you get a little bit more of like that Stephen King vibe to it, although it's a Stephen King vibe all around. Learning about these characters, the storytelling, all of that. I enjoyed it, although I do prefer other stories, I feel like, more than this type. So I'm excited to see what else is in this and see how they vary, or if they are all around the same vibe. I don't know if we're gonna get like actual more horror, if it's gonna be like pretty sci-fi, you know, what the vibe is gonna be with this one, but it wasn't bad. It was definitely a Stephen King. And I did look it up, and this is the first time it's been published. So, yeah. I am going to figure out what to do with the rest of my morning. I am drinking my water right now, getting my intake up on that. And then I'll fill you guys in. Oh, I also forgot to mention the narrator for this is the narrator who did, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he also did like all of the Mr. Mercedes books. And so it just feels like I'm missing that trilogy now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this takes me back to, I think it was what, last year? Reading all of those, and it just takes me back. But anyways, I will check in a bit. So do not mind me sweating my butt off, but I thought I would check in. In a rather just day. I came home and literally have just been editing all day. My full moon readathon vlogs, when I tell you hours and hours and hours have went into those videos. I'm finally editing my very last one. I'm hoping to get it up Wednesday this week, and today's Monday. So I still have some time, but oh my gosh. Anyways, I read my second story for the day because I was like, you know what? I said I was going to read at least 2 a day. And then one day I'll probably have to read 3. But this last one was really short, like 10 pages. It's called The 5th Step, and I took a screenshot from Google I will throw up for you guys because it said that he had published this, I think it was like the New York Times or something like that, in like 2020. So it was the first time. And I swear I've read this, or at least have read parts of it, because I knew what was coming before, and it wasn't a guessing type of situation. It was like I knew what was going to happen. So I really liked it though. I feel like it was kind of like the first one, so I'm kind of seeing a little bit of a pattern. So short that I really don't want to say too much about it, but it is this guy who walks up to another guy sitting on a bench, complete strangers, and asks him, or tries to pay him and says, you know, can I just have a little bit of your time to talk to you? And the guy's like, no, I don't want your money. He ends up convincing him if he could sit and talk to him for a minute, and he talks about his sobriety up until the 5th, like each step, step 1, step 2, 3, and 4, and 5 of getting to that point and what has been helping him and stuff. And it's another one where you're just kind of there along for the ride. It's just a long conversation that ends with a bang, I guess. So yeah, I would give it a 5-star though. I really liked that one. And I have been drinking water today. Not as much as I wanted every day, so I need to up that for the evening. I've been doing pretty good on my steps. It's not a crazy amount just because I've been setting editing. I really didn't want to like overdo my shins because I get shin splints. Since I walked this morning already, I was kind of afraid to get on the treadmill and walk again because of my shin splints, but I am trying to hit certain goals. So I have not hit my walking goal just yet. I haven't hit my water goal yet, and I haven't done my workout. So that's on the agenda. And I'm currently making dinner, so I'm a little preoccupied with that. The boys, I think overall had okay days, but both came home super moody. I think it's just those first days, like their energy is completely drained. They both just went and lay down and they're taking a nap. It's like, who are these kids? They're not mine, because my kids don't nap. But anyways, Axel did some cute little back to school things, so I thought I would show them since, oh my god, look at this dog. Is that not the cutest dog? Oh, I love it. Anyways, I'm gonna finish dinner and I might actually do my workout cooking because it is an air fryer night. So I don't think it's gonna be too hard to multitask those things. And then, yeah, I'll probably see you guys tomorrow morning. Check out these cool pepper plants that my mom gave me. I will show you guys close-ups of them, but one of them, the colorful one that has like purple and yellow and red, I need to figure out I need to ask her again what their actual names are, but they just taste kind of like bell peppers. And then the black plant with like the darker berries, they're actually like little peppers that are extremely hot. But they're just so gorgeous. I have to repot them, so I'm hoping to do that tonight, if not tomorrow. I will see if I have the energy for it tonight, but they're just so cute. So excited because I am the only one here today. but also because I got my usual parking spot. I like parking here because I can just easily back out and go instead of having to like drive through the cemetery whenever there's so many other people here. Anyways, you guys, day 2, here I am. Did I accomplish my water, my steps, my workout? No. Yesterday, I did not. Maybe today though, we will see. I'm just gonna give myself grace and like, at least I'm still motivated, you know, that's something. So I'm here again and I just have my brows and my SPF on today, so I'm looking rather cute. But story 3 is going to be, let's see how long our stories are today too. Willie the Weirdo, sounds like fun. Let's see how long it is. Oh, it's just like a little over 10 pages as well. Danny Coughlin's Bad Dream is much longer. Like, much longer. Okay, so it looks like I'm just gonna be doing 2 again today. We'll get to those 2, and then, let me see if I do Wednesday, Thursday. Looks like tomorrow's is semi-short, so maybe I can fit in 3 tomorrow. Yeah, I think I have my week planned out. I think today I will do 2 more. Tomorrow, I think I can fit in the next 3. Thursday, I will do probably 2, maybe 3, and then the same for Friday, 2, maybe 3. So I just have to fit in that extra one on Thursday or Friday to finish out the book. But I'm excited to start Willie the Weirdo. We'll see what it is about. Got my water. I hope this week's video is motivating you to do something that maybe you've been putting off. Maybe you really want to try something new and you've been too like anxious or scared to do it. I hope that this video motivates you and helps you, because I definitely am relying on you guys and this whole vlog concept to get this done. And also having something like a book that you've been like really eager, like this is one of my most anticipated reads for the entire year, also helps, because I feel like it's motivating me. I'm trying to not read it so much at home like I am whenever I'm doing something like this that I'm putting off doing. So it's kind of like I'm rewarding myself for doing something that I can sometimes tend not to do. Because once I'm here, I love doing it. I love walking at my cemetery. It makes me happy. I like getting the fresh air, but there are just days where I'm tired and I'm just like, I just want to go home and just be a couch potato all day, do editing, and then I don't get my steps in, then I'm mad at myself, and you know, so that's just finding that middle ground where you're doing something that you do enjoy, but it just kind of takes that little extra motivation and fight from you to do, but doing it with a reward like this. Yeah, it is 70 degrees outside. It feels like it's starting to like cool down, which is getting me so excited. I can't wait till it's autumn out here. It's just gonna be so beautiful again. My favorite time to walk last year, but that's the other reason why I feel like I have a really hard time, because I know that I was sweating, and today, you guys can't see it, but I remembered to wear my sweatband, so I'm probably gonna be extra hot today. So I'm not looking forward to that, but we're here, we're gonna get started. I'm back. There's so many people here now. I was almost done with my walk and I was like walking back to my car, and then somebody got out with like 3 huge dogs, and you could tell she was having quite the time trying to get them to like calm down because they were so excited for their walk. So then I turned and I went another like whole section just to get another way to my car. But yeah, my legs they were filling it today for sure. But I did finish Willie the Weirdo, and this is kind of about like a kid who has like the early signs of a serial killer, and he is like just into just like really weird stuff, and it's just icky. I don't think it was a terrible story. I think stories like that can be interesting because I kind of like I like criminology, like getting in the minds of criminals and why they do the things that they do. So that's why I feel like I found it interesting enough. But I feel like he could have went even further with the story. So I think that's why I'm kind of like, that's lacking a little bit for me. What was that? Willie the Weirdo. Since I'm trying to keep up with when these were originally published or if they are brand new right now, Willie the Weirdo was first published in June 2022 in Timothy McSweeney's Quarterly Concern number 66. So another not new one, but one that was compiled in this. And then I am currently reading, you guys, this one is so long, Danny Coughlin's Bad Dream. Starts at page 83 and ends at page 234. So it's probably the biggest short story or novella in this entire book. It is definitely like a full-size novella. I made it that far. So I still have this much to go of it. So that is not happening on my walk this morning. But I may still listen to it today, like while I'm getting some chores done, like around the house. I am still quite enjoying the audiobook. I feel like it's not like anything like over the top. It is just a narrator. There is like a little bit of like eerie ambiance music in between stories. Besides that, got some steps in. I think I'm only at like 4,000 steps. So I'm not doing amazing so far today, but you know what? It's 9:30. That's better than it could be. But yeah, I'm gonna pack up all of my stuff and head home. I don't think I had enough latte today. I'm so tired. I made it so late and then had to chug some of it before I left the house with Axel this morning, so I need to get some caffeine, decompress a little bit. I'm still editing my video that I started yesterday, and I have some chores to get done around the house, and so much planning to do. So if I complete any more of the book today, I will let you know, or maybe I'll just tell you in the morning what I thought of it. Good morning. You guys, is this video boring? I can't tell, but I feel like it's probably going to be kind of boring for you guys because I'm literally just in the same spot every single day updating you guys from my car and then walking. I hope you like cemeteries. Anyways, so yesterday, I'm gonna try to make it quick because I feel like all the regulars are about to start showing up. The lady with the dogs. Did I tell you guys about the lady with the dogs yesterday? Well, she pulled up while I was reading, so it did give me some time, or buy me some time, because I was like, I have to finish this story before I start today so I can update you guys. Anyways, so I'm letting her get a little bit ahead of me with her dogs so I don't get trampled. The mowers are here mowing the cemetery, so it's kind of loud. But you guys, I know I filled you guys in on the first story I read yesterday, and then I read the longest, Danny Coughlin's Bad Dream, which is new. It is published first in this book. It was the longest one from page 83 to 234. And so I didn't finish it on my walk yesterday, and then when I got home, I did some chores and listened to it. I still didn't finish it. I read it in bed last night until I could not hold my eyes open any longer. So listened to it again this morning while I was getting myself ready, and then now reading it in my car before I start my walk. Everybody that drives by here slows down. And I swear it's because I see my huge ass camera on my dash, but I'm just like, keep driving, people. Yeah, it is 67 degrees and I'm so excited. I brought a hoodie, but I'm like, I'm probably just gonna warm up anyways in the sun, so I probably won't even wear it. But yeah, the story, back to the story. Honestly, it kind of felt like I just recently read the Richard Bachman books in the Mummy video for the Full Moon Readathon. You guys can check it out. But, oh, there's a dog on the road. Get out of the road! Oh my gosh, the distractions today, you guys. Anyways, I read some of the Richard Bachman books, and I say that because this story really reminded me of that writing style. It really just felt more of like a suspense fiction over horror or something weird and eerie by Stephen King. There was like a little bit of a sci-fi element. It's about this guy who is having these weird dreams, and this one dream is super vivid. Oh my god, this dog. Get out of the road. Thankfully, everybody's slowing down. I think he's going back home. Anyways, so he had this really vivid dream of him pulling up to like this gas station and in the back of it seeing a dog messing with like something, like digging up something. And then when he walks up to it, he finds a body of this dead girl. And so it's kind of like one of those stories where like it's like a premonition thing where like he dreamed it, so then he's like, I can't rest until I figure out if it was real or not. It felt so vivid. And then he goes and he finds the body. And then the rest of the story is about two like detectives that are trying to pin the murder on him because they're just like, this guy is so shady. He's saying he's seen this in a dream and whatever, he's cuckoo, whatever. So yeah, it's very suspense, like just trying, and kind of like crime fiction at the same time. I rather enjoyed it. I don't think it's a 5-star for me, but it was still interesting enough. I'm really hoping we get like full-on horror in this, and I'm starting to think we're not. I think it is going to be more so just very suspense, thriller type writing. I mean, as thriller and suspense as it gets with Stephen King. I don't know if we're gonna have any like super weird horror stories to say. But if one more person pulls in, I'm going to lose my mind. Regulars are pulling in, and that's so awkward to just have this huge ass camera up here when I'm about to just get out and walk. So I am going to start my next one. It is so awkward. Then, which I did see somebody else say that this is one that he originally published somewhere, so I will figure that out. I think today is the day where I get to 3, and I'm hoping I walk longer today than I have the last 2 days. So we have Finn, On Slide In Road, and Red Screen. We'll see what I get to, but I'll let you guys know. I'm gonna get my walk in, and then, yeah. Hello.
Hey, cause I can't do shit right, I can't learn my lesson. I can't do shit right, take antidepressants. Illness and welfare robbed my adolescence. My friends probably hate me, can't answer a message. Filled with anxiety, always be hiding me. Feeling inadequate's always what's driving me. Not a role model, that's not what I strive to be. Can't go outside, I'm afraid they'd be finding me. Paranoid about my privacy, yeah. And they always asking questions about my face, can't relate. Fucking caught my own reflection, broke a mirror the other day. Got a lot of bad shit that I'm taking to my grave. Got a fucking date with death on house arrest till trial days. So I grab the red wine on rainy days and then I pour it. Cause I'll age another fucking 1,000 days before I know it. Yeah, I spend them all inside, waste my time while I'm scrolling. But I love when it rains, cause I'm agoraphobic.
Alright, you guys, it was quite the day. Nobody here. like, besides the lady walking her dogs. And then I was like, I'm gonna walk longer today. Well, all the regulars show up, plus some. Man, 9 o'clock hits, or a little after 9 hits, and it's like, it's party central over here. That's what it feels like. But I finished all 3, and I'm so excited about that. I did have to read the last one, or finish it in the car, but, okay, Finn is one that was published. I took screenshots, because I Googled all of them, so that I could know. I think all of these were published previously. So Finn was a short story that was first published on Scribd, which is cool because now it's Everend, in May 25th of 2022. This is like a psychological torture on this Finn guy. He kind of has just really bad luck his whole life, and then now that he's an adult, he is like taken hostage, and these guys think that he is somebody else, and they're going to psychologically torture him to get him to admit that he is somebody else. It is definitely a darker one with torture. Then there was on Slide End Road, which was about a mom and a dad, their 2 kids. It's kind of like the typical like mom, dad, daughter, son story. They're on a road trip with their grandpops, who are traveling to go see grandpops' sister, who is dying of cancer, and it's going to be their last time seeing her. But the journey there is wild because this grandpa, he is a veteran, and he is just rough around the edges, and he's not waiting for nobody. He's not dealing with anybody's bullshit. They're taking his car, even though it's slower, and it's gonna be a long journey. And I have to say, I didn't really care for the slurs that were in this one, because I feel like it's just such a newer book that why are we still putting slurs in books? So that was a little disappointing, but I did like where it went. It ended up being a kind of like a carjacking type style story. And it was not an all-time favorite, but I didn't mind it. It originally published in 2020, around October, November, and it was for an issue of Esquire. And then the last one, just Red Screen, I freaking loved. Oh my gosh. I feel like if I'm gonna read these type of stories from Stephen King, I love when they are this style, because it's very sci-fi. Think The Outsiders, or The Outsider. Think like Holly, that type of vibe, which you guys know if you've been on my channel. I freaking love Holly books so much. So I was super giddy as soon as the story started, because I was like, oh my gosh. Pretty much it's about this detective who starts his morning, then he goes to work, and it's super short, so I'm not going to say too much, but he starts interrogating this guy who just murdered his wife. Like, the guy he's interrogating murdered his own wife, and so he's just interrogating him, and he's like, I mean, you confessed at the scene, blah, 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 blah. And the guy is trying to explain to him that she is different, that she is no longer his wife, and it's been like that for a year, and he's telling him like the signs of how he was figuring it out, that she was somebody different, and so on and so forth. Definitely recommend that one. That one was really fun and really fast. But yeah, I guess that's the check-in for today, you guys. I am killing it on this book this week. I'm over halfway already. That makes me so excited, and I do need to start tallying up, because I haven't been rating these as I go. You guys, of course, are seeing my ratings, but me right now, I don't know what ratings I've given all these. So when I get home, I'm going to sit down and look at these and try to put ratings to each one that I've read so far. But I've read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go. Super excited about that. And I did walk longer than I have all week today. I also took a new route just because there was so many people, and it was so cool. There were so many cool tombstones that I never really get to see. I'm like, I love cemeteries so much. I love tombstones. I'm kind of like a girly that wants to be cremated, but seeing like really old and like gothic looking tombstones is like, I could be cremated and just like my ashes scattered over or by a gothic tombstone. I just love like cemeteries in general so much, and I've been thinking about starting a series on my TikTok because I'm trying to get back into posting on my TikTok, but like having different series and one of them being like a tombstone series, because I've already told James, I'm like, when we make plans to travel, I want to go and see haunted places. I want to go and see cemeteries and stuff like that. So I'm like, that would be kind of cool having it like a cemetery series and like a tombstone series where I can like show and share different really cool tombstones. That's an idea. Anyways, I'm going to check out here and go start my day because I'm working on other books and other things and I have a lot to do today. Thank you for joining me for another morning. I will see you guys tomorrow. So there was so much going on all at once. There was literally a guy walking towards me, a guy behind me walking his dog, so I was like just trying to find a spot. I settled within the trees in the shade. It feels so nice and I'm wearing a sweater. I absolutely love this type of weather. The dog lady is here. She is over there walking her dogs. I'm just across the street from the cemetery, and this is, I mean, a lot of people play like flying discs and like frisbee here. I mean, there's nobody here right now. And then if you walk that way, there's a trail and a park. So yeah, I'm just chilling here. I have my books. I'm going to get started on my next Stephen King one now. Guys, I am back home. I did not plan to film anymore today because I filmed with you guys in my car once I got to the cemetery this morning, like I've done every morning this week. And then I also filmed a little bit with my phone once I got to the area I was sitting at. And then I filmed again in my car wrapping up the books I read, or the stories I read. And then I got home and I was sitting down and looking at the footage and there was some type of malfunction going on, and I'm hoping it's not happening again. Fingers crossed this works out, but I don't know if my camera or my mic was just like not plugged in all the way or what happened, some type of malfunction with my mic to where I had no audio on my first clip and my last clip, both clips in the car. So thankfully, I did take some clips with my phone today once I got to the spot, but the only thing you guys missed from the first clip was the fact that today I did not feel like being at the cemetery walking, but I forced myself to go and to just have some outside time, and I brought my usual picnic blanket and my books and my pumpkin spice latte. It's the first day of pumpkin spice lattes. I'm so excited. So yeah, that was my morning. That's what I had planned because I didn't feel like walking. But I did walk a little bit to get to my trees where I sat down and read some from You Like It Darker. Been trying to protect my like sleeve as much as I can. But I thought I would put it back on to show you guys the cover again because I'm gonna have to re-review the 3 stories I read today. Also, On my face right now, I am masking because, again, I thought I was done filming for the day, and so I just came home to do some skincare and chores, and I'm using the LYS Detox. This is their Think Deep Pure, can't even see this, Pure Minimizing Detox Mask with pomegranate and charcoal. It goes on just kind of like a pink type color, and then it dries down rather fast. I need to go wash it off in a minute. But yeah, let's dive into the 3 stories I read. The first one was the Turbulence Expert, and this one wasn't super exciting for me. I think I mentioned how this was just about this guy who working for this company that has him just go on these flights, and it's about the whole fear, I feel like, of feeling a little claustrophobic and being in a plane and dealing with turbulence. And it's almost like he's trying to recruit a woman who is also on this plane so that he can retire, is what it seems. And while this is his job, it's almost like he's been forced by these people to have this job, otherwise, like, they will unalive him. And what I gathered from it was he has to kind of like pass the torch to somebody else so that he can get out of it. And then there's just this whole fear of this turbulence that they're analyzing. And I feel like there's much more to the story as well without giving anything away, but honestly not a whole lot. I actually would have liked more from the story, and it felt oddly placed in this book. I think it's the first one I can say about this whole anthology, but this one first was published in 2018 in a horror anthology already called Flight or Fright, and I feel like it would fit perfectly in that. It's an anthology all about flights and planes and stuff like that, and I feel like it just fits perfectly in that I didn't really need it, I guess, in this one. I landed at a 3 for this one. And then the next one was Laurie, which I quite enjoyed. It wasn't a full 5-star for me. I landed at 4 stars with Laurie, but this is about an older man who is now retired, living in Cayman Key, Florida. He has become very depressed and he's losing weight, and his sister is coming to take care of him since his wife has recently passed. His sister Beth is very concerned and worried for him, so she brings him, I had to look it up, it's a border collie muddy puppy, and she brings it to him because she's concerned about him and she wants him to be able to find something worth living for. It's kind of like those reels or TikToks you see where they're like the dad who said he didn't want the dog, and then you see it like him like loving on it or taking care of it or like just doing something extravagant for this puppy, you know, that he didn't want. That's kind of this story. It's really heartfelt and really sweet, and this is actually the story where the cover, this like crocodile alligator situation, takes place. And I rather enjoyed this one. I thought it was really cute and again, heartfelt. It's not really horror throughout, but definitely has a little speck of horror in the end with said thing. Side note, because this might be a little bit of a spoiler for you guys, so if you don't want to be spoiled, literally skip the next few seconds or minute, and I'm going to be jumping into my next story. I will say I gave Laurie 4 stars, but yeah, just skip a couple of seconds if you don't want to be completely spoiled. It's not a huge spoiler, but something that I feel like if you're an animal lover, you might want to know. Or if you have a hard time reading about animal things and books, you might want to know. So not a huge spoiler, but I just wanted to confirm with you guys that Laurie the dog, in fact, does not get eaten by the alligator or the crocodile. That does not happen. There's no like an animal suffering or dying or anything like that in this. I just want to make that clear because I feel like that's where your mind might automatically go to. Moving along to the 3rd and final story. Oh, wait. Laurie. I forgot. Laurie was a short story first published as a free download on his website in May 17th, 2018. So it's also not a new one. You may have already read this or heard of it. And then lastly, we have the sequel to Cujo, which is Rattlesnakes. And I was pleasantly surprised by this one. It was almost kind of like another novella in this, not really a short story. It was a little bit longer, although not as long as Danny Coughlin's Bad Dream, but it was still a rather long one. But this follows a man Vic Trenton, to be exact, who is the lead of Cujo. Not the lead, I guess, but like one of the main characters of Cujo. He is the father in Cujo. And it's about his life after the events that happened in Cujo and how him and his family were able to move on from everything that happened in that. It's a huge spoiler to Cujo. I highly recommend you going and reading Cujo first without me telling you those bits that could ruin the outcome of Cujo. But it is the aftermath of everything, but it's been several amounts of years. And he is staying out, I want to say this was Florida as well, but he's staying at another home because he's just been going through a lot in his life. He's elderly now and he's just trying to relax and retire with his life and just kind of try to find some peace. And while there, he finds out that his like next door neighbor that's staying next to him is an older lady as well, and they kind of start forming a little bond, but then he realizes that she is talking to invisible children. This lady prior had twins who were attacked by a rattlesnake and killed, but she talks to them as they are still there. They are still in the pram. She has clothes laid in the pram where the kids would be laying, and she talks to them and she acts like they are like interacting back with her. It's very eerie, very creepy. I say all that because although it is a continuation or sequel to Cujo, and it has those bits that we learn that are big spoilers from Cujo, at the same time, it is kind of like a whole nother story in itself, which I really, really enjoyed and made it super exciting and a story within itself. You know, I feel like it needed that. So I'm so glad it went in that direction. That I feel like he could have honestly done it with any characters out of any of his books to make another whole story. So it was super interesting. Don't pass this one up. It becomes very haunting and very paranormal, and overall a really, really good time. And I actually, first of all, this is a novella that was first published in this book, so it is a brand new story. But what I wanted to say was Doomackey is also mentioned in this, but I don't think enough to spoil it. I haven't read the Doomackey's. I do have them, but I haven't got to those yet. But I don't feel like anything was spoiled for me from that. Cujo will be spoiled for you though. But the other thing I wanted to mention was that in this story it says, told myself it was ridiculous. Told myself I was in a story called The Telltale Pram. And I thought that was really cool, a take on The Telltale Heart, where by Edgar Allan Poe, where the heart is like haunting him, and he can hear like the thudding of this heart, and it's like pretty much like targeting him and making him go insane. It's the same with this story on this pram stroller that is like haunting him, and he's hearing it creak and the wheels turn, and it's constantly showing up at his place, and it's just very creepy and eerie. But I absolutely love that reference. I also was thinking to myself while reading this, there is a story that I was reading this time, around this time last year, that had a pram in it, and I remember it just being so creepy and eerie, and it clicked with me. I can't remember if it's called The Pram or not, but it's by Joe Hill, Stephen King's son. So I thought that that was really interesting. I know that some people say that his son, that son, or both sons, I don't know. I think this is just allegedly that they sometimes will use story plots that maybe Stephen King gets stuck on and doesn't end up using. So it kind of made me wonder if this was one of them, or maybe he was inspired by his son's The Pram story. I don't know, but I just thought it was interesting because I was like, I loved that one too, and they both have like these creepy pram strollers in them. Anyways, 5 stars on Rattlesnakes. I really, really loved it, and yeah, that means I only have 2 more to go that I'll be able to wrap up tomorrow for you guys, so stay tuned. It's the final day, you guys. I actually completed this, and I'm honestly shocked. I'm kind of having another one of those days where I don't really want to be here. I think it's more so people-wise. Since I've pulled up, 2 other vehicles have pulled up already, and this used to just be my spot where I could just pull up and film and like not have to like really worry about it, and now I just feel like it's like so busy here. But I thought I would look at least a little bit put together today, so maybe I could get a thumbnail. I also brought the cover so that I could get a thumbnail with it maybe. But yeah, we're on the last stories. I think there's only 2 left today. And I might take you guys with me afterwards because I'm thinking about, well, I probably need to go home and film a couple things because I have library books that are due today and I have a couple of log clips that I really need to film with them. So I'm gonna get my walk in, get these stories done, and then I need to finish the book that's due today. I only have like, I don't know, like 50 to 100 pages left. So anyways, I can get that done. Hoping to get these 2 done and then work on that one so that I can go home, film what I need to, maybe put myself together a little bit more depending on how hot I get this morning, if I need to shower and stuff. But yeah, I'm just gonna kind of take it easy today. I'm really just determined to finish my books. That's the main goal today. I also like don't want to get out of the car because I have my latte and I just want to sit here and drink my latte and read. So I might actually do that for a little bit before I start my walk, just so that I have, while I'm walking, maybe I can get to my other book too. But yeah, then I need to go to the library. I have some holds to pick up because today is Friday, so expect my 24-hour horror-a-thon very soon. Or yeah, you guys will probably see this video before that one, but if it's already up, I'll link it. If not, it's probably my next video. But yeah, I have to pick up books from my library for it. Very last minute, but they came through, so I'm excited. I needed some novellas. And then I need to complete a couple errands, but I thought I would take you guys with me to one of my favorite, like, flea market thrift shops around here that always have a bunch of books, and there is a like booth with this woman who really stockpiles on the books, but usually she has a really good Stephen King collection. Over the years, I've been kind of like buying out her Stephen King collection, so usually any that are left are duplicates of like ones I already own, but every once in a while she'll put one in there and I'm like, ooh, I don't have that one, I'll snag it. So I don't know, maybe I'll be able to find a Stephen King today to wrap up this video. But anyways, I am going to start reading so that I can actually complete this book and video today. It's Friday too, so the weekend, I'm so excited. Today we have The Dreamers and The Answer Man, so I will be back in just a second for you guys. Another day walking and listening to mowers. So I just finished The Dreamers, and this is, or just was published for the first time in this collection, so it's another new one, and I liked it. I feel like there was parts of it that were a little slow for me, but I didn't mind it. I think there is so much horror in the aspect of being a person who analyzes like any type of like sleeping activity, and that's kind of like what this story is about. So this guy gets a job working with this like scientist guy who is doing like sleep studies. There's like only one other person here walking, but it's just super awkward. I don't want to like bump into them while I'm talking about this. But sleep studies in general, I just feel like can be kind of like horrific to point that I feel like they're really good elements for a horror story. And this one in general, this guy gets a job, and it's kind of like, I don't know, kind of like one of those like sketchy things anyways, but he is told that he has to just sit in and like pretty much just type up, what is that called, like I forgot what it's called, but pretty much be like the typer that like types in like what the subjects experience, maybe what they do, what they say, what he notices from the experiment. And then once he gets in there and he sits down and the scientist is explaining to the subjects what's going to happen, they're going to give them like, it's not really like a psychedelic, I don't know, like something that may help them like hallucinate. So I guess like a hallucinogenic, or what's that word? You get what I'm saying. Some type of like drug to help them maybe like have a better outcome of the experience. All right, I wanted to get past the mowers a little bit. They're probably still loud. Anyways, so they're told you're gonna go under on this drug or whatever, and we want you to dream about this red house with a green door, and it's like in the woods, and you're gonna go in and you're gonna pull up the floorboards and you're gonna tell us what you find. And they of course question it, but they're getting paid to do the sleep study, so they do it. And yeah, it's just about the creepy things. I feel like that can lead with a story like that. So it was interesting, and you know, what some of the dreams were, what the people experienced, or what he typed down that he experienced watching them was eerie and creepy, but it wasn't bad. Now on to my last. And I am back home. I needed to come home to wrap up this video because I completely forgot. I left my notes at home. So to even be able to tell you guys my overall rating, because if you know how I normally rate my anthologies is I tally up how many stars I've given and kind of base it on that so that I can give the overall book a rating. Instead of just kind of going with like my gut on like what it would be. So let's say I gave the majority of the stories 3 stars, then it would be a 3-star for me. But if I gave the majority 4 stars, then it's 4 stars, and the same with 5 stars. And what I do want to say is that I really did enjoy this. I don't know if I even told you guys about the last story. It was called The Answer Man, I believe. It was also originally published for the first time in this collection as well, so it's brand new and one of the best in the book. It was so good. It is about this man who is kind of having a hard, I say man, but he's actually like a young man, like a, I would say like late teenager, and he is just beginning his adulthood. Early adulthood, and he has this woman that he absolutely loves and adores, and he wants to marry her, and he's kind of been given a stern no from her father on asking for her hand, and he's trying to figure out what he's going to do with his life as far as work, and he wants to be a successful lawyer. And while driving one day, he sees this sign on the side of the road that says a certain amount, I think it's like $25 for any questions for like 3 minutes or something like that from the Answer Man. And curious, he gets out and goes up to him and asks him, and this guy is answering like all of his questions, and then the man tells them like, you know, you trust me because if you didn't, I feel like you'd be asking me like what your mother's maiden name is, and you know, those type of like security like password questions that not everybody is going to know. He's like, so that you can confirm that I'm telling you the truth. And then when he does ask those and the guy gets them all right, it's kind of like a, whoa, what is going on type of ordeal. Who is this guy, random guy in the side of the road? And not just that, but just like the Answer Man has told him, yes, he marries the girl, yes, he becomes a lawyer, and so many more questions answered as well, that later in his life, when he gets to see the Answer Man over and over again, it's kind of just like an unraveling of his life. It's coming of age, but it's also just a very almost like literary fiction where it was a beautiful story of this guy's life, but it was devastating and heartbreaking at times and beautiful at other times, and the Answer Man would just pop in here and there, and then he would get his last question answered, and all of a sudden would be woken up in his car like it never happened, but did it? It was actually so good. And when I first started it, I was just kind of like, I think I'm like that with a lot of these because I, this year, have been in such a horror mood. I just want horror. I want back-to-back horror that picking up anything else has been a little bit hard for me. And so I feel like that's kind of how I felt with this story or with this whole collection, was because every time I would start one, I'm like, yeah, this just kind of feels like literary fiction, you know. I do feel like I resonated with his characters and liked his characters a lot more in these stories than I typically do in his horror books, so that was a plus. At least they were interesting characters that I vibed with, but I really wanted more horror from it, especially with the, you know, title, You Like It Darker. But I do like the fact that he added in something creepy or eerie or just weird in each one of these, and it was such a wide variety of a collection too with each of the stories we got, and I rather enjoyed myself. I like that the cover with the alligator came into play with a story. I like that I got the sequel to Cujo, which was amazing, and yeah, some other new ones, and then just some other stories that I had never read wherever they were published at originally, and now that they're in here, I was able to get to them. I am definitely going to be reading another Stephen King collection very soon. I do have quite a few of them that I've never gotten to. I'm just trying to figure out which one's going to be my next, but I did not want to leave you guys without my rating reviews. You guys would have seen my ratings with my reviews as this vlog has went, but I just tallied them up for myself today whenever I got back home, and I landed at 4 3 stars, 4 4 stars, and 4 5 stars, which was wild that it was just so even like that. And so because of that, I feel like I'm gonna have to go down the middle and say that I give this whole collection a 4 star, which is pretty high for me. I usually give out 3 stars with collections, but you know what? Maybe this is my year for like short story collections, anthologies, because I just read his Hideous Heart in my Raven video for the Full Moon Readathon, and I gave that anthology 4 stars as well, so maybe it's just my year for them. They've been hitting so far. But anyways, I thought I would tell you guys the stories that really stuck out to me. These are the ones, although I didn't really give any bad ratings, there was 4 that just were kind of meh stories, but all landed at 3 stars because there was something, like I said, creepy, eerie that was thrown in that I ended up liking, but I couldn't see myself giving it more than a 3 star because the rest of it kind of fell a little flat for me. 4 stars that I also enjoyed, but there was just something that didn't quite make it an all-time favorite, or one that I could see myself picking back up in the future, wanting to read again, or maybe like thinking about a lot, because I feel like the 5 stars, these 4 are going to be the ones that I continue to think about, and just like every time I feel like a reference is made about one of those things, I'm gonna think of it, you know? And for one is prams and strollers because Rattlesnakes was so good. It is one of my 5 stars. It is the sequel to Cujo, and that one's gonna stick with me for a while. It is very haunting. Another 5 star was The Fifth Step. I really enjoyed that one and just how psychotic it was. Red Screen is so short, but do not count it out because it was just so good, and I love the vibes I got from it from like his other stories like The Outsider and If It Bleeds, Holly, all of those. It had around that same sci-fi vibe to it that just felt like home to me because I love those books so much. Last but definitely not least, The Answer Man, which I just talked to you guys about. I had so much fun reading this anthology, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too repetitive or boring or all over the place and just not something you, I guess, enjoyed. But if you guys pick up this book or if you've read it, please let me know what you think or which story was your favorite. I would love to know. And I'm so excited to have not only another Stephen King checked off my list, but his newest. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in my next video.